Welcome back, Smart Start Radio family. Before we get into our latest amazing episode, we have a quick word from our sponsor. With spectacular hotels, amazing theme parks, and unparalleled entertainment, Universal Orlando Resort offers a meeting destination unlike anything else in the world. I tried to turn my event brain off. I really did. I went to an Ariana Grande concert. I was there to sing, enjoy the show, and maybe buy a shirt. But then the merch line became its own side quest. And it reactivated the part of my brain that said, this is a case study for events.
Smart Star Radio, Smart Star Radio. Ready, set, here we go with another episode. Watch as we learn and grow. Smart Star Radio, Smart Star Radio. Ready, set, here we go with another episode. Watch as we learn and grow. Starting smart is the action we design. Meeting other minds, how to better use our time. Leading.
Welcome back, Smart Start Radio family. I'm Ming Piansai with Smart Meetings, and this is your coffee chat where we take a quick moment to look at the little details that can make a big difference in the attendee experience. So, as usual, grab your coffee, your tea, your matcha, your water, or whatever's getting you through this planning season, and let's get into it. So here's the situation. At this major arena concert, there was one big merch line, and then a couple of feet from that was a second merch line. And they were close enough that it was hard to tell where one line began and one line ended. There were so many people waiting. People were walking through. People were trying to get to their seats. People were trying to get food. People were trying to figure out whether they were in the right line or accidentally cut someone off by accident, which did happen several times. Someone actually bribed someone to cut the line too, which I thought was fascinating. It was funny, chaotic in the best way that big live events can be. And honestly, the concert was great. I loved the merch. I did wait for an hour in line, but I still loved it. But it was also a reminder that attendees should not have to solve the event design in real time, which is what I had to do. Me and my friend were like, is this the end of the line? And then someone was like, no. And then we walked further, but we were wrong because there were two lines and we didn't realize it, which in hindsight was annoying, but we made do. And that is the real lesson here. The problem was not necessarily that the line was too long. Long lines happen, especially at events like that. You can't really avoid that, especially when there's a high demand and there are a lot of people packed in to a space, especially at a concert for Ariana Grande. Like, you can't really avoid that, unfortunately. People are going to want the merch. That part makes sense. Give the people what they want. And they did. But in this case, the merch was worth it. And even when the product, program, or experience is worth the wait itself still matters. The issue was the system was not visible. There was no clear sense of where the line started, where the line was supposed to go, and how people were meant to move around it. Because of that, the line started blending into the surrounding traffic, and everyone was kind of confused. And like, people kept asking, is this the end of the line? Is this the end of the line? I'm like, I have no idea because there's no signage. There's no person telling me where to stand, where not to stand. I don't know where I'm going. I'm just following the crowd. We're all just sheep together in this tightly packed space. And it eventually becomes a bottleneck, and it's a wayfinding issue. For meeting professionals, this isn't just about merch, because obviously you're not trying to sell merch at a lot of your events. You might, some of them might, but not all of them. But this really is about event design in the grander scheme of things. Think about the registration process. Badge pickup, food stations, coffee breaks, expo activations, book signings, product demos, shuttle pickup. Anywhere people are expected to wait, gather, or move through a shared space is going to cause some kind of chaotic situation unless there's a plan in place. If attendees cannot see the system, they will feel the chaos, and planners want to eliminate chaos from this equation at all costs. That is one of the many goals for planners out there. And that does not mean every part of an event has to be over-arranged. What it means is people need enough visual information to understand what is happening without having to ask 5 people in line. Where does this begin? Where does it end? Am I blocking someone? Is this the right line? Can I get through there? Those little questions create friction, and friction adds up. And so the friction becomes the memory that your attendee walks away with, and no one wants that. One of the simplest takeaways is this. Spacing matters. If 2 high-demand stations are placed too close together, the lines may naturally just collapse in on each other like 2 dying stars. Even if each station works on its own, the combined traffic can create confusion for anyone who's in it. Another takeaway, signage needs to show us before the confusion starts. Like, I didn't see a sign, I didn't see tape on the floor, I just stood somewhere and hoped I was in the right spot. Attendees shouldn't have to second guess themselves. They should just know where they are and if they're in the right location based on what visual cues have been left there. It could be a sign that says line starts here. Very simple, very to the point. A visible menu, product list, or pricing before people have reached the front, just so they have a clear sense of this is the start of where it is. Or a staff member helping direct flow, which would have been helpful in this scenario. Or tape or floor markers if there's room for it. And then there is the attendee movement around the line. In this case, people had to squeeze through the merch traffic to reach seating areas or food. This is where the line becomes more than a wait. It becomes an obstacle course. And people are already a little frustrated. So should they be more frustrated? No, they shouldn't. For planners, the question is worth asking, what does this queue block if it gets twice as long as expected? Does it block entrances? Does it block restrooms? Does it block food and beverage? Does it interfere with accessibility? Does it make people feel that they are doing something wrong just by trying to move through the space? Because even when a crowd is excited and in a good mood, confusion can quickly change the energy. And if we're there to enjoy whatever event that we're at, we don't want to feel those things, and we shouldn't. Naturally, we all got to our seats. We were all happy. We all enjoyed the show. But in the moment, it was frustrating because we don't know where we're going. And your guests shouldn't feel that way. And the thing is, the merch line could still have been long. People may still have waited. I still may have stood there for an hour. But a long line with a clear structure feels different than a long line where you ask people, do you know how far it is till the end? That's a question no one should have to ask at an event, no matter what kind of event it is. So with that in mind, here are a few helpful tips for planners. First, walk through the space like an attendee who has never been there before, not like someone who knows the floor plan, not like someone who has seen the production schedule. Walk it like someone arriving, excited, distracted, and maybe a little overwhelmed. Looking for a way to add some swagger to your meeting? Hold it in Dallas. You'll find 20 plus diverse neighborhoods bustling with entertainment, art, and chef's kiss worthy food. Not to mention the world's best icebreaker, the famous Margarita Mile. Whether it's a Michelin Guide recognized chef's table for 10 or seats at a big game for 1,000, Dallas is a playground for networking, team bonding, and after the meeting memorable moments. At its heart, you'll find a vibrant, walkable arts district voted #1 in America. Drop into downtown's historic Deep Ellum neighborhood for a show or take the team and the energy to the next level atop of Uptown's stylish rooftops. Get the creative juices flowing in the colorful Bishop Arts District or any of the lower Greensville trendy hotspots. Want to energize your attendees with just the right amount of that legendary Dallas swagger? Start planning your meeting at visitdallas.com. And now, back to our show. Truly. Second, design for the line you might have, but not just the line you hope you have. If something is going to be popular, give it room to be popular. The more emotional or time sensitive the touch point is, the more structure is needed. Third, separate competing flows. A line should not have to compete with people trying to access seats, food, restrooms, or exits. When these flows overlap, attendees start making their own pathways. I definitely felt that. We were up against a food line and I couldn't tell which was what because they all kind of intersected in a way where the same shape. Fourth, make the system visible. Signs, spacing, staff direction, clear entry points are not small details. They're how attendees understand the experience. And finally, remember that organization is a form of attendee care. It tells people you are in the right place, we expected you, we thought about how you would move through this space. That might sound simple, but ultimately it does a lot of the heavy lifting for you when you're introducing a very large group into your venue. Obviously, not all events will be to this degree, but it's still good to keep these in mind because you never know where people are going to end up gathering. You want people to be comfortable and not stressed out and not feel like they're claustrophobic almost because they don't know what is what or where they're going at any point in time. Because the attendee journey is not just the keynote, the concert, the session, or the big moment everyone came for. It's also the line that you're standing in, the hallway, the sign, the squeeze past the crowd, the moment when someone either feels guided or left to figure it out on their own. So yes, I went to an Ariana Grande concert. Yay me. Yes, I waited in line for merch for an hour. Yes. And yes, I love the merch, but I also really enjoyed the event itself. But what I really left with was the reminder that even when the product, program, or experience is worked, the weight itself still shapes how people remember the event. Like, I'm going to remember the line. I know that. Love the merch, but the line will definitely be one of those memorable things that I will think about at my future events that I attend for Smart Meetings. And that's it for today's Smart Start Radio Coffee Chat. I'm Yiming Piansai with Smart Meetings. Until next time, keep designing with intention and keep paying attention to the moments attendees will remember, even when they happen outside of the main event. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Smart Start Radio, Smart Start Radio. Ready, set, here we go with another episode. Watch as we learn and grow. At Smart Start Radio, Smart Start Radio. Ready, set, here we go with another episode. Watch as we learn and grow. Starting smart is the action we design. Meeting other minds, how to better use our time. Leading, interceding, proceeding, they divine. It's believing, they conceding, so it goes on all the time.
You've been listening to Smart Start Radio, a Smart Meetings production. Interested in being our next guest? Connect with us at editor@smartmeetings.com.